It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, KCAL 9 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Cincinnati Reds. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. The Reds arrive here with their victory last night. They're 3.5 games behind Milwaukee. The Dodgers, by losing last night, suddenly find themselves 7 games behind the Giants. For the Dodgers, they're 500 everywhere. At home, they go underneath. They're a couple under. On the road, they're under 500. And in the Western Division, they're under 500. So they need a quick recovery in all 3 areas. Tonight, they look to Clayton Kershaw, trying to win his 7th in a rematch with Johnny Cueto. Cueto, in Cincinnati, walked off the field leading the Dodgers, only to have the game blown by the relievers, and that was the game when Matt Kemp hit the grand slam home run. So it's the Dodgers and Reds, game 2 of the 3-game series. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this. by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of the day. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium on another glorious summer's evening. No breeze, warm sunshine, still ready to set. Clear visibility, so the mountains are etched out there in the background. And the Dodgers and the Reds going after each other in Game 2 of the 3-game series. With the Reds coming back to win last night, they have split 4. This will be the 5th meeting of the year. Here's the Reds lineup. Drew Stubbs in center field and Brandon Phillips at second base. Joey Votto, the hero of last night's game, at first base. Jay Bruce in right field. Scott Rowland, good to see him coming back. He's had a lot of problems. Scotty at third base. Chris Heise in left field. Ramon Hernandez will be behind the plate. Paul Yanish at shortstop. And Johnny Cueto on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, believe it or not, appearing in his 100th game of his career tonight, and also his 98th start. And among other things, Kershaw has already built up quite a following for a couple of reasons. Number one, he leads the major leagues. The opposition over that stretch, hitting .222 since his big league debut in 2008. He's also 4th in the major leagues with 102 strikeouts. And this year, he's really come alive with the bat, but they're, of course, much more interested in the arm. So Clayton Kershaw, with a record of 6-3, he's had a no-decision game against the Reds. He is 1-1 in his career, 1-0 in Cincinnati, 0-1 here at Dodger Stadium. So here come the Reds. The Reds are 3.5 games behind Milwaukee. They are 2 games above 500. The Dodgers, for the moment, are in 4th place, 7 games behind the Giants, who play Arizona tonight, and the Dodgers are 6 games under 500. Clayton Kershaw ready, in his first pitch of the night, fouled away off to the right out of play, and the count 0-1. Drew Stubbs out of Atlanta, Texas, that is, 32 miles south of Texarkana, Texas. Drew had a tough night last night, went 0 for 5 and struck out 3 times. But he does have 9 home runs, 29 runs batted in, checks on a pitch inside. They look down at first. No swing, says the veteran Jerry Davis, and the count 1-1 strike. So Drew Stubbs, who has 15 infield hits, so he can motor, despite the fact he's 6'4", and he swings at a pitch in on the hands, and the count runs 1-2. For Stubbs, rather awkward to have a leadoff hitter who struck out 3 times last night and has struck out 92 times already this year. The 1-2 the count. Kershaw thinks better, backs off the rubber. Drew at 6'4" and 200, came out of the University of Texas, a first-round pick by the Reds. And Drew takes low. Again, Barajas looks, and again, Jerry Davis says no swing. You know, the Reds have been a different ball club against their own division. In the East, they're under 500. In the West, they're under 500. Against the American League, Dusty is under 500. But in the Central Division, they are 24-14. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, and that is just off the plate. So Clayton Kershaw goes 3-2 on a lovely evening. The temperature at 67 degrees. Stubbs waiting with Brandon Phillips on deck. Kershaw ready. Here he comes. Check swing foul into the screen. Drew Stubbs, when you look back with his background, 15 infield hits, runs well, and he has the genes for it. His father, Rick, went to Louisiana Tech and ran track for 4 years. And for Stubbs, he was a quarterback, and quite a quarterback at that. And he lifts one to the gap in left center, but it's very playable, and Tony Gwynn comes over to make the catch. So Stubbs, a fly ball to left, 1 down. Let's take a look at the Dodgers with the leather as Gwynn went over to catch that one. It's Gwynn, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. Uribe, Gordon, Carroll, and Loney, and the battery of Kershaw and Barajas. So with one away, that brings up the veteran Brandon Phillips, hitting .284, 5 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Phillips, fine all-around ball player, good athlete. And the first pitch to him very high, ball 1. Brandon picked up a Gold Glove in 2008. Although he might strike out a lot, he is not the kind of a hitter who's going to be called out. He's too aggressive for that. And he takes a pitch in for a strike, and they count 1-1. Drew Stubbs flying to left, and now Phillips up there hitting .284. I was looking at his walks and strikeouts, pretty remarkable. He's only struck out 27 times. 1-1 pitch is hit down the right field line, foul, out of play. 1-2 the count. So Brandon Phillips with 5 home runs. He has had, well, very close now to 300 plate appearances and only 27 strikeouts, so you really have to watch out for him. Brandon, right-hand hitter, had 1 hit last night. Back comes Kershaw in the dirt, and the count 2-2. Jamie Carroll, who appeared in last night's game briefly, and Brandon Phillips, as middle infielders, they're tied with hits. They each have 73. Jamie playing second base. 2-2 the count to the other second baseman, Brandon Phillips. Kershaw delivers fastball, check swing, foul off to the right. Still 2-2. Brandon Phillips out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. That's where he lives. He's from Raleigh, North Carolina. He was a member of the 30-30 club, and there aren't very many of those. And as far as second baseman, really only a couple. He hits one foul down the line. There are 31 members of the 30-30 club. Only 2 have been second basemen, Alfonso Soriano and Brandon Phillips. There are 2 other Reds, 30-30, Eric Davis and Barry Larkin. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Kershaw ready and deals, and he's low, ball 3. Another thing about Brandon Phillips, he really is to second base what Troy Tulowitzki is at shortstop. Last year, Brandon Phillips led the league, second baseman that is, in total chances, fielding percentage, putouts, and assists. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on and fouled away, so he's still there. In 2007, Brandon had kind of a freakish year in the sense that in 7 he stole 32 bases, but he also grounded into a horrific number of double plays, 26, first in the league. Now the 3-2 pitch on the way. Kershaw deals, ground ball up along third at the bag. It's in play, and the throw just in time to get it. Uribe handling the ground ball behind the bag, and it was Sam Holbrook, the umpire, indicating that the ball was in play. So 2 down in the first inning, and here comes Joey Votto as we take another look, and Uribe making the play. Joey Votto, an MVP last year, had the big 3-run home run last night in the 7th inning. It was not only his 9th home run of the year, it was the 99th home run of his career. And the Dodgers will send a limo to send him to the airport. The pitch to Joey, he has a look at a strike. In his last 13 games against the Dodgers, Joey has 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and he's wore out the staff, hitting .360. Strike 1 pitch to Joey. He pulls away. It's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Joey Votto trying to extend the inning, and he has 2 home runs, 4 RBIs against Kershaw. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Joey. He waves at a breaking ball off the plate, and they count 1-2. Joey Votto is 6'3", 220, out of Canada. And despite the fact Canada is known as the home of hockey. Everybody growing up loves hockey. Not Joey. He never played it. He wanted to play baseball. Big overhand curveball, an even bigger swing and a miss. Down goes Votto and the Reds. 1-2-3. And at the end of half an inning, Reds nothing, Dodgers coming up. To retire the side in order, striking out Joey Votto. Now let's take a look at the names on the card sent up there by Don Mattingly. D. Gordon at shortstop, Jamie Carroll at second, then the trio, Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, and James Loney, followed by Juan Uribe and Rod Barajas. Tony Gwynn in left field bats eighth, and Clayton Kershaw on the mound. On the mound for Cincinnati is Johnny Cueto out of San Pedro de Macorís, the home of Pedro Guerrero, among other athletes. He was a free agent signed by the Reds in 2004, and he misses away to Gordon, 1 ball and no strikes. He's 5'11", 185, and he can bring it. The next pitch fouled away off to the left. That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. So Cueto working on D. Gordon. D standing for defense, hitting .296 with an RBI. Cueto comes back, and that's fouled off. Johnny Cueto, among other things, had to be paid a rather supreme compliment by Bronson Arroyo. A couple of years ago, Bronson Arroyo was quoted as saying, "The kid is unbelievable. You're talking 1999 Pedro Martinez stuff." So Cincinnati quickly tagged him as Little Pedro. Breaking ball is whacked into center for a base hit. So D. Gordon rounding the bag and holding on with a leadoff single, and that will bring up Jamie Carroll.
Second baseman, number 14.
Now Gordon has great speed, unusual speed, but at the same time he is really unfamiliar with the moves of the various pitchers. And even if he was familiar with Cueto, he would certainly know that Johnny is very tough on base stealers. In Cueto's career, 12 stolen bases, 16 caught stealing, and 11 pickoffs. So you have your hands full if you're thinking about running against Cueto. So the right-hander wants a new ball, and Jamie Carroll waiting at the plate, hitting .319. The Reds have an academy in the Dominican Republic. A lot of ball clubs do. And Johnny Cueto is the first to graduate from the Reds Academy and make it to the big leagues. And his first pitch inside to Carroll, 1 ball and no strikes. So D. Gordon trying to study the pitcher. Takes his walking lead, held on by Joey Votto. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Carroll has a look, and that's up and in, and a 2 ball no strike count. Johnny Cueto, and looking at what the Dodgers have done against him, Carroll is 2 for 9. The big guy, as you would expect, Matt Kemp, is hitting .556 against him, 5 hits, including 2 home runs. So 2-0 the count to Jamie Carroll. Gordon holding and the pitch foul back, and the count runs to 2-1. Last night, the Dodgers burned by the Reds, and 5 of the 6 Cincinnati runs last night were scored with 2 out. So the Dodgers trying to get the incentive and get out in front and stay there tonight. Tomorrow, the concluding game, and it will be Travis Wood and Chad Billingsley. Remember tomorrow's game at 12:10. So Cueto, whose last game was at San Francisco, and he went 7 shutout innings, works way inside, so he's behind 3-1. Now looking at Jamie Carroll's numbers on a 3-1 count, he has walked 23 times and struck out 30. The 30 strikeouts will probably be well over 250 plate appearances, so we'll see if that means run and hit. Cueto, is he around the plate a lot? Well, he's only walked 14 while striking out 31. A lot of numbers, but they go into the manager's decision, and Gordon does not go, and it's ball 4. So Cueto starts off on a wobbly note. Gordon hits a breaking ball for a base hit to center. Carroll runs the count to 3-1 and walks. And now Ethier, Kemp, and Loney, and for Dusty Baker, a tough wobbly start. We can duck in a score. Rockies are leading the Padres 3-2 in the 4th inning. Giants are leading the Diamondbacks 1-0 in the 2nd inning. Pablo Sandoval is back in the Giant lineup, and he knocked in the run. And we're here 1st and 2nd, bottom of the 1st inning, no score, and Andre Ethier at the plate. Ethier 3 for 9 with a home run against Johnny Cueto. 2 on, nobody out. Dodgers trying to get the drop on the Reds, and the first pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Andre hitting .320, 5 home runs, 32 runs batted in. You have D. Gordon at second. You have Jamie Carroll at first, nobody out. Cueto back with a pitch grounded to the hole at short. Giannis to second for 1. Not much of a throw to first, and when it gets away from Votto, here comes Gordon to score. So D. Gordon brings in the run with that great speed. Looking at the play, Brandon Phillips tied up on a charge by Jamie Carroll, and Phillips really had to kind of float the ball off one leg low and away, and Votto was unable to hold it, and Gordon just kept on coming. So it might have been a double play, but an assist for Jamie Carroll, I think, to bother Brandon Phillips' weak throw, and the speed of Gordon, along with the fact that Votto could not handle the throw, and the Dodgers pick up a run. There'll be an error charge to Phillips. Kemp ground ball to third, rolling down to second, back low to Votto. Great pick at first. So Brandon Phillips is having a tough time out there, and Votto just saved him from back-to-back errors. Dodgers get 1 when it's all said and done, and at the end of an inning, Dodgers 1, Reds nothing. hit and a walk. 12 pitches later, he got the last out, but not before the Dodgers scored a run. So we go to the second inning with the Dodgers leading the Reds 1-0. Jay Bruce, Scott Rowland, and then Chris Heisey. And Jay Bruce, left-hand batter, takes high, ball one, 1-0. Jay out of Beaumont, Texas, a first-round pick by the Reds back in 2005. Had 25 home runs last year. Jay takes low and away, 2-0. He's hitting .287 and he has 17 home runs, but his last home run was June the 1st. So he's gone about 2 weeks without hitting one out. Kershaw, both feet on the rubber, turns now into the windup, and the 2-0 pitch swung on and fouled away. 2-1 the count. Today is the birthday of one of our favorite people, Dodger great Don Newcomb. Don, 85 years old today. Down in the Cincinnati dugout, Dusty Baker will celebrate his 62nd birthday tomorrow. The 2-1 pitch on the way, foul back, and the count 2-2. By the way, in case you have forgotten it, they don't really make that much of a fuss, but June the 14th, today, is Flag Day. And we certainly don't want to let Old Glory go by without a couple of words for sure. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Jay Bruce is taken high, ball 3. Do you ever wonder why our flag is called Old Glory? Well, we can tell you about it, but we don't want to get in the way of pitches. We'll tell you why in a minute. 3-2 pitch on the way to Jay Bruce, and that's fouled away. The famous name was coined by Captain William Driver. He was a shipmaster out of Salem, Massachusetts back in 1831. And he was leaving on one of his many voyages. And the voyage he was going to leave would climax with the rescue of the mutineers of the Bounty. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on, hard ground ball under the glove of Jamie Carroll as he tried to backhand it. It just went right through and on out into right center, so we'll wait for the scoring. Normally, I would say Jamie makes that play 9 out of 10 times, but this time it just got away. So we'll wait for the scoring. But meanwhile, Bruce is aboard, and Scott Rowland coming up. It is good to see Scott Rowland, and that will be an error charged to Jamie Carroll. And I'm sure every time, any time that Scott Rowland would come to Dodger Stadium, it would bring back a lot of pain and a very bad memory. He's hitting .240, 2 home runs, 22 runs batted in, and he takes inside, ball 1. Scott Rowland has had a magnificent career with the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, and the Reds, but a nightmare game here is what really set him back. I mean, you're looking at a fella who has 8 gold gloves, among other things, and might have been a Hall of Famer for that matter, except for one incident here. He fouls one away, and they count 1 ball and 1 strike. Talking about his gold gloves, I mean, Brooks Robinson had 16, Mike Schmidt had 10, and Scott might have had a lot more, except for a collision at first base against big Hee-Sop Choi of the Dodgers. You may or may not remember that, but it really not ruined his career, but it has taken away from him all kinds of things. Rowland, rounding first base, collided with Hee-Sop Choi and wrecked his left shoulder. He's had 4 surgeries. I can't tell you how many cortisone shots he has on that shoulder. The 1-1 pitch, Scotty, it's a one-hopper, short hop by Gordon. They get a force. They get a double play. D. Gordon short hops a sinker, makes the play to Carroll, who turns it, and just like that, 2 out. When Gordon short hop and backhanded it, he actually went down on his right side and then turns it into the double play. So Gordon dazzling the audience last night and early tonight as he scored the run. And with 2 out, Chris Heisey is the batter. Fastball by Kershaw, in for a strike. 1-0 Dodgers. We're in the top of the second inning. Heisey hitting .286, 5 home runs, 22 runs batted in. The strike one pitch is low, 1-1. Anyway, when Captain William Driver was going on the cruise that would lead to rescuing mutineers from the Bounty, friends presented him with a beautiful flag of 24 stars, and when he opened it up to the ocean breeze, he exclaimed, "Old Glory," and the name stuck ever since. Of course, the flag has changed. On this day in 1777, the Continental Congress passed the first Flag Act. That would be 13 stars, 13 stripes, and it just kept growing, stars and stripes after that. Curveball bounces, gets away, 2-2 the count. In 1794, it had 15 stripes and 15 stars. Then it moved on, and eventually in 1912, they had stars and 6 horizontal rows of 8 each. Everything that you know about the flag now when you look at it. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Down goes Heisey. That's the second strikeout for Clayton Kershaw. Quite an inning as we salute Old Glory on Flag Day, and at the end of an inning and a half, 1-0 Dodgers. On the bench, nestled up close, you have Trent Olson on one side, Jamie Carroll, Aaron Miles. Right now, young Dee Gordon is sitting there explaining to Miles and Olson just what happened on the ball that he handled. So one young, very young infielder talking to a veteran. And now in the second inning, James Loney, Juan Uribe, and Rod Barajas. So Dee Gordon taking a hard hit ball by Scott Rowland, turning it into a double play. He's already scored a run, and into the second inning we go. Loney hitting .257. First ball swinging, fouls it back. He has 4 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Since April the 26th, all the pieces have fallen into place for Loney. He's hit .315 over the last 44 games. So James in and out of the box. Johnny Cueto looks in, turns ready, and comes back 0-1, and that's fouled away, and the count 0-2. Johnny Cueto, when the Dodgers saw him on the 4th of June, a victim of a blown save, he left the game leading 4-2. The Reds then added 3 more, and it looked like he had a lock on it, 7-2. And Matt Kemp hit a grand slam home run, and the Dodgers went on to win the game. And Cueto losing one. Loney, meanwhile, driving one into right field. Moving over to backhand the ball is Jay Bruce. Deloney a long out to right field, one down, and Juan Uribe coming up. Say, you know, you can take the Dodgers with you wherever you go this year. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Cueto working now on Uribe. And the pitch low, ball 1-0. Uribe 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs against Cueto in the past. Juan hitting just .220. Hits one foul off first base upstairs, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Uribe has had a good deal of success in his lengthy career against the Reds, hitting .309 with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. Hits another one foul. This one will find the seats off first base, and the count 1-2. Another beautiful evening here in Southern California, sunset time. Cueto, meanwhile, turns, ready, comes back 1-2. Little foul ball off to the left, and it's still 1-2. So Johnny Cueto, 5'11", 185. Fastball, the two-seamer. He has one up to 97, the other at about 94. Hard slider, and there it is, swung on and missed by Uribe. That slider comes up there as much as 88. So that's a huge pitch, and we have 2 down, and Rod Barajas the batter. Johnny Cueto with the 2 fastballs and the slider. He also has a good changeup. One of the great names in Cincinnati history, Mario Soto, was the man who was a minor league pitching coach in the Reds organization, and Mario taught Cueto the change. The first pitch in for a strike to Barajas, and they count 0-1. Rod batting .231, 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in, struck out as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning last night. Strike 1 pitch, Rod a one-hopper to third, rolling it right there and guns him. Remember, he has 8 gold gloves down there at third base. And the Dodgers go 1-2-3. And at the end of 2, Dodgers 1, Reds nothing. To the 3rd inning, and the crowd saluting Don Newcomb on his 85th birthday, along with his wife Karen, taking in the game. There he is. What a guy, and what a player. How about being Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, and the Cy Young Award? That's all he ever did. Unbelievable. It'll be Hernandez, Yanish, and Cueto in that order. 3rd inning, with the Dodgers leading the Reds 1-0. So Hernandez checks in, and Clayton Kershaw ready and makes his first pitch to the catcher, and that's a little high. Ball one. 1-0 the count. Ramon Hernandez. He's out of Venezuela from Caracas. Originally signed as a free agent by the A's. Right hand batter, big swing and a miss. He's an even 6, but he checks in at 225. So Hernandez waiting on a 1-1 count. Came up to the A's in 1999. Takes a look at a breaking ball strike, and he's in a hole now, 1-2. Hernandez with the A's, the Padres, the Orioles, and this would be his 3rd year with Cincinnati. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Lifted into shallow center. A trio of Dodgers. Matt Kemp is the captain out there and makes the catch. So we have 1 away in the 3rd inning. And Paul Yanis, the shortstop, coming up. So Yanis hitting .233. He has 18 runs batted in. He had Tommy John surgery back in 2005, and he looks at the first pitch for a strike. So the left side of the Cincinnati lineup, Paul Yanis and Scott Rowland, both had horrific collisions in different places at first base, and Yanis takes low, and of course Scott Rowland here. Yanis, that's a Czechoslovakian name. He has no idea why the J sounds like a Y. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball hit back to Kershaw. He lobs it to first in time for the 2nd out. So Kershaw has retired 8 in a row despite an error. And Johnny Cueto coming up. Johnny Cueto has had 13 at bats. He has 1 hit. It was a single. He has sacrificed 3 times. So John checking in, 1 for 13. 2 out, 3rd inning. 1-0 Dodgers. Kershaw comes back and misses inside. Ball 1, 1-0. Cueto, as we said, is 5'11". Bends at the knees, however, and a little at the waist. The 1-0 pitch. John swings, drives it to right center, but Matt Kemp will pick it off, and that will be that. Nice easy inning. Kershaw now has made just a few pitches, and at the end of 2.5 innings, he leads 1-0. In favor of the Dodgers, and for the Dodgers to score in the first 3 innings against Johnny Cueto, that's a little surprising as far as Cueto is concerned, because the right-hander has really cut down the numbers in the first 3 innings from last year. His earned run average last year in the first 3 innings was over 5. His pitch to Gwynn outside, ball 1, and coming into this game, his earned run average in those first 3 just 1.2. But the Dodgers, and the speed of D. Gordon and the throwing error by Brandon Phillips, lead 1-0. Tony hitting .229 with a half a dozen runs batted in. Cueto turns ready, and his 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. Cueto, as we mentioned, fastball, slider, great change, and the scouts say just about all of his pitches have late life. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's pulled foul outside of first down the line. And looking at his work from last year, Cueto held left-hand hitters to a .234 average. Right-handers hit .276. He gave up 11 home runs to left-handers and 8 to the right-handers. Started off this year with an inflamed shoulder. The 1-2 pitch, little dribbler back to the box. Johnny has it, throws to first, and we have 1 away. Say, don't forget, Tuesday, June the 21st, Dodgers and Tigers at 7:10. You'll receive your very own Dodger beach towel presented by Time Warner Cable. And for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGER. 1 away. Clayton Kershaw coming up. Clayton has had a very wonderful start with the bat. He's hitting .276. And the pitch to Clayton a little high, ball 1, 1-0. You know, I have to tell you something. I've known Dusty Baker forever, I guess. And I finally remembered to ask him a question about why he chose a toothpick. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Kershaw. That's in for a strike. And Dusty was telling us before the game, it was back in 1989. He was the hitting coach for the San Francisco Giants from 89 through 92 under Roger Craig. The next pitch is off the plate, ball 2. Anyway, there was a pitcher named Trevor Wilson on the Giants in those days, and he would holler out, "Rally dip." And what it meant was that the Giants were behind, they started to score a run or two. Everybody would take the snuff and put it underneath the lower lip. The pitch is low, 3-1 the count. And Dusty, of course, he's a member of the club, and it's rally dip. So he started dipping, and they won 6 in a row. His wife was angry at him. Everybody that he knew off the field kept telling him, don't use that ugly dip. And you know what? He said it got to be a little addictive. Pitch to Kershaw, in for a strike, 3-2. So finally, after they lost a couple of games and he got rid of it, he didn't use it during the offseason. He went to gum, but it didn't work. 3-2 pitch fouled away by Kershaw. So then he went to a toothpick, and he has really moved beyond the toothpick. His toothpicks are custom made now, and they have flavor, and they're slippery. They're like almost olive oil. Here's the 3-2 pitch coming up to Kershaw, fouled away again. Now, he never played while chewing a toothpick. There was a pitcher years ago with the Giants who pitched a near no-hitter here against the Dodgers in the Coliseum. Big, black, strong pitcher named Sad Sam Jones. He pitched with a toothpick in his mouth. And if you remember Jimmy Wynn, who played the outfield, Jimmy Wynn would play with a toothpick in his mouth. Well, Dusty, he might chew on it now. And you should see it comes in a little case. You open it up, and here. But you know who told him, if you're going to chew the toothpick, chew this particular toothpick? It was his dentist. So anyway, that's the story of Dusty's toothpick, and Kershaw has been obliging, allowing us to tell the story by fouling off 140 pitches. Well, maybe not, but he's already seen 8 pitches. The Cueto's a little tired of him. John ready and comes back 3-2, and it's fouled away again. Dusty Baker and his toothpick. Even the Dusty Baker bobblehead has a toothpick. How about that? That's remarkable. All right, Kershaw still there. 3-2, 1-0 Dodgers, third inning. Cueto ready, fastball, believe it or not, foul back. And he's bringing it. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And Cueto takes a walk. Meanwhile, Rod Barajas looks out as if to say, kind of a surprise, isn't it, the way Clayton is swinging the bat. A pitcher hitting 96-mile-an-hour fastballs. Here's the 3-2 pitch coming up. Fastball fouled away down the left field line. Well, it's interesting. Kershaw swinging the bat well. Don Newcomb, celebrating his birthday, was a very good hitting pitcher. 3-2 pitch to Kershaw. Swung on, driven to the gap in left center. That's a base hit. Over to cut it off is Chris Heisey. So Clayton Kershaw gets applause from Chad Billingsley with a long single to left center field. And the Dodgers leading 1-0. And their young pitcher showing the way with a base hit. Well, Clayton Kershaw got one fastball after another, and that is his 9th hit. He has 1 RBI. And applause from Chad Billingsley. Billingsley is very good with the bat, hitting .280. So what they might have is a little friendly competition. Billingsley hitting .280. Kershaw now has probably moved up at least to .280. It was a 12-pitch at-bat for Clayton. So here is D. Gordon, and he takes ball 1. 12 pitches. Boy, that's making Cueto work. John comes back, and it's a soft hopper fielded by Yanish, who gets the force play, and that's all. So Gordon hits the ball to the shortstop right. Yanish makes a nice play to get the force on Clayton Kershaw. I'm watching Chad Billingsley as Clayton makes his way to the dugout, and we're looking at the force play on Kershaw. And Clayton gets 5s in the dugout. He certainly made Cueto work. So we have 2 out, bottom of the third. Dodgers lead the Reds 1-0, and here's Jamie Carroll. Single to center, walk after Gordon had single to center. Made a good rolling block on Brandon Phillips, whose throw to first base was wide off the mark, and that allowed Gordon to score. So little things mean a lot. Jamie's slide had something to do with the Dodger run. D. Gordon at first base. With a tremendous speed that he has, he's 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Cueto works the plate, a breaking ball for a strike, and the count 0-2. We mentioned earlier the fact that Cueto is very tough to run on. We'll repeat, he's allowed 12 stolen bases, but 16 have been caught, and he's also picked off 11. Here's the strike 2 pitch. Instead, whoa, did he gun that thing over to Votto. Oh. By the way, we mentioned about Don Newcomb celebrating his birthday, the fact that he was a marvelous hitter. In the 1955 season, Newcomb had 7 home runs and hit .359. Here's the strike 2. There goes Gordon. Hit and run ground ball to short. Yanish makes the play, and that's the inning. So Gordon was going. Carroll grounds out. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and at the end of 3, 1-0 Dodgers. is brought to you by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Dodgers lead 1-0 as we go to the fourth inning. Clayton Kershaw has not allowed a hit. He himself has a base hit after a 12-pitch at bat, and now going to work here in the fourth inning. It'll be Stubbs, Phillips, and Votto, the top three in the lineup. Drew Stubbs out of Atlanta, Texas, and they say there's a big sign outside that little town, and it sums it all up. Population 6,000. That's ball one. The sign says Gateway to the Piney Woods, and I guess you've probably heard that expression about the piney woods of Texas. Well, his hometown is where it all begins. 2-0 the count. Drew 6'4", 200-pounder. He'll be 27 in October. Fouled away. He has some pretty nice credentials. Not only was Drew the quarterback of his high school team, he was a member of 2 state champion relay teams. He also played basketball. When he graduated, he was the salutatorian of his class. And for good measure, he was the top English, math, and Spanish student in the school. Ball 3. And, of course, as a fan would say, yeah, but can he hit? Well, he's hitting .261, 9 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Fastball, 3-2 the count. Drew Stubbs, as a high school senior, committed to the University of Texas. The Astros tried to sign him, but he wouldn't go for it. Went to the university and was eventually signed there for a big bonus. Hard ground ball off the glove of Uribe. He recovers, throws, too late. Great effort by Juan Uribe to get the leather on the ball at all and then recover and make the throw. But Stubbs runs very well and beats it out. Remember, his father ran track, so he has the genes for running. Nice effort by Uribe. And just like that, a leadoff single. And the batter will be Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips grounded to third in the first inning. Made the throwing error as Jamie Carroll was breaking up the double play to allow the Dodgers to get their only run. So here's Brandon. And first ball swinging, hits it back to first, down the line. 3 Dodgers coming over. Jamie Carroll makes the catch. Jamie Carroll with Loney on one side of him, Epia coming up the other, and he's going to catch it below his hip, I believe. Yep, and an ice cream cone as the ball just did stay in the glove. So Phillips fouls out. Nice play by Carroll. And now here is Joey Votto, hitting .332 in his last 13 games against the Dodgers. 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, and hitting .360. And there goes the run of the pitch low. A hesitant catcher, Barajas, who then throws late. So Stubbs had a pretty good jump, and apparently Rod Barajas had to double clutch. He comes up, hesitates, finally gets it away, and Stubbs is in there easily. He has now stolen 19 out of 21. So I mean, he can run. So now Votto trying to pick him up and get the game even. It's 1-0 Dodgers here in the fourth. One and one. When you ask Joey Votto about learning how to play this game, he said very simply, I've learned more about the game from Scott Rowland than anybody else. Well, in 2009, he was a distant second in the National League Rookie of the Year voting to Cubs catcher Giovanni Soto, but he came back last year and was the MVP. 1-2. Votto, by the way, with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .431. And of course, he had the big home run last night. So Drew Stubbs, who can fly, down there at second. 1-2 to Votto. Just did foul it away. Votto, usually a pretty patient hitter. He's right up there on 3-0 counts, 2-0, number one in 3-1, but Kershaw had gotten out in front of him. With all of that, he has struck out 51 times and walked 55. 1-2 to Joey Votto. Fastball away, 2-2. Kershaw has made 56 pitches so far, coming off a 9-pitch third inning. Before spring training in 2008, Joey Votto had laser eye surgery. Fastball fouled away. For Joey, his parents, Joseph and Wendy, they owned a restaurant. And then things went badly up there in Canada. Family struggled. His father became a chef. His mom became a sommelier. She knows all about wine. Joey is 6'3", 220. Holds up on ball 3. And we mentioned last night that Joey Votto says he's always been infatuated with the legend of Ted Williams. He thinks he's read every book ever written about Ted. So Votto, quite a player, and with all of it, he's 27. He'll be 28 in September. 3-2. And he was really fooled on the breaking ball. That wasn't a swing. That thing, he was looking 3-2 fastball for sure. And look at that. That's not a Joey Votto cut. He was completely outpitched on that one. So Kershaw takes care of one of the more dangerous hitters in the league. And for Clayton, that would be his third strikeout. Now the batter is Jay Bruce. One thing they tell me that Dusty Baker doesn't like to do, he did it last night and again tonight, with left-handers back-to-back. Left-handers Votto and Bruce last night produced one hit, but there was the big home run by Votto. So far, the two of them are 0 for 3 tonight, back-to-back. 1 ball and no strikes to Jay Bruce, hitting .286. Foul ball makes it 1-1. So Bruce trying to find the secret. Those who follow the Reds say that there are times when you can't get him out, and then he doesn't just cool off a little, then he usually struggles for a while. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jay Bruce. Fastball on the hands, just threw that by him. It was 94 on the gun. The other thing about Bruce that's unfortunate for the Reds, he has 17 home runs. 11 of them have come in games where the Reds have lost. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, 2-2, big overhand curve. Bruce, after the All-Star game last year, really found himself. He hit .306. He had 15 home runs and 34 RBIs. 2-2. Tying run at second in Drew Stubbs. Fouled away. Maybe an insight on why Bruce can be very, very hot or very, very cold. His mother, her name is Martha, and she said since Jay was about 12, he always doubted himself. He just always thought everyone was better than him. Then, as he got beyond 12, he began to mature a little more and have more self-confidence. And that gets away, but not far enough. Stubbs holding. 3-2 the count to Bruce. And on deck, Scott Rowland. So this is a big pitch. Left-hand pitcher against the right-hand bat of Scott Rowland, which is waiting on deck. Three and two. Fastball fouled away. Dodgers scored a run in the first inning. Gordon singled, Carroll walked. Ethier hit into a force play that might have been a double play, except for the slide by Carroll into Brandon Phillips, who threw the ball away for an error, and Gordon scored. 3-2, and that's in the dirt, so that means Rowland is coming up with 2 on and 2 out. We told you about the collision, Scott Rowland and Hee-Sop Choi. That was in May of 2005. And it really changed the Cardinal third baseman. This was after he had played for Philadelphia. Before that play, that collision, Rowland had not suffered a major injury in years. And since that time, it's just been one problem or another with the left shoulder. Scott Rowland, 6'4", 240, out of Jasper, Indiana. They say that's a town of about 10,000 people near Evansville. And he's up there, 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Dodgers. Curveball in for a strike. Rowland, 4 shoulder surgeries. Walt Jocketty, who is the general manager of the Reds, formerly the general manager of the Cardinals, made some great picks, and one of them for St. Louis was Scott Rowland, who bangs it down the left field line. That'll go to the box seats. Scoring easily is Stubbs. Here comes Bruce. The relay by Gordon. A close play. He is out at the plate. D. Gordon does another great play. Well, the kid is dynamite. A perfect throw. And he gets 5 from Casey Blake. The throw from Gwynn to Gordon, right on the money to Barajas. Great tag by Rod as well. However, the Reds do get one as we take yet another look at it. And Jay Bruce is nailed at the plate. And at the end of 3 1/2, a 1-1 tie. there to handle the throw from Tony Gwynn, and then a strike to Rod Barajas. But you folks at home, take a look at Rod Barajas and his left foot. As Gwynn goes to pick it up, here comes the high throw to Gordon. But now watch Barajas and the left foot as Bruce is coming in. There's the foot blocking him completely and making the tag. A veteran catcher at his best to prevent a run. So we have a 1-1 tie, fourth inning. And here's Andre Ethier. Slow freight for a strike. You know, we're talking earlier about how wonderful it is for Clayton Kershaw getting all those base hits. But then again, 0-2. Kershaw, when he was pitching in Colorado, he had a walk and a single and scored from first in back-to-back innings. And the next thing you know, he gave up a half a dozen runs. Ethier isn't around very long. One down. Well, tonight, Kershaw had a 12-pitch at bat in the third inning. Single. He was eventually forced at second, and then goes to the mound and makes 25 pitches. Maybe the Dodgers will just as soon let him stop hitting and getting some well-deserved rest. Another thing about Clayton Kershaw, the Reds have already fouled off 19 pitches, and he's had 6 3-ball counts. So all of that taking an awful lot out of him. He's made 69 pitches in 4 innings. Matt Kemp hit into a double play in the first inning, started by Scott Rowland. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Cueto and Kershaw are even in the bottom of the 4th. Low and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Matt with 20 home runs, 56 runs batted in. We're in the 4th. 2-1. With Matt Kemp and his 20 home runs up there, your first thought would be, how many home runs has Cueto allowed so far this year? The answer is 3. 2-2. Bronson Arroyo leads the Reds and is tied for the most, 16 home runs. But as we mentioned last night, if you play and pitch in Cincinnati, you're really vulnerable to the home run. The Reds have played 35 games at Great American Ballpark this year, and there have been 86 home runs hit in those 35 games. 3-2. And a little flare over the head of Votto and down the line. A sliding pickup, a throw in. They've got Kemp hung up. Cueto with the ball, gives it to Giannis. Giannis back to Brandon Phillips. Phillips will give it back, and the tag is made, and that'll be that. And the tag by the pitcher, Johnny Cueto. So Matt Kemp, as soon as Votto went into a slide to retrieve the ball, Matt thought, well, he's off his feet. I'm going to try and keep going. And Votto, a quick recovery. Here's where he decides. He sees Votto go down. And eventually Johnny Cueto, the pitcher, is going to make the tag for the out. That's Brandon Phillips. And there is Johnny Cueto. So Kemp, a base hit. A good all-around effort by Joey Votto and the rest of the Reds to get him. And a little flare to right. If you're keeping score in the game and you like a rundown, it started with Votto, 3 to Phillips, 4 to 1 Cueto, to the shortstop Giannis, back to Phillips, and then eventually to Cueto, who made the tag. So we have 2 out, bases empty, and here's James Loney. Fastball away. 1 run, 2 hits for the Reds, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers, each side with an error, and we're in the 4th. Loney a long out to right. That's a strike. 1-1. Juan Uribe hitting back of Loney. Looked like a change off the plate. 2-1 the count. A change over 80, but when you throw 96, an 83-mile-an-hour changeup is dynamite. And that's in there. 2-2, and that was another change. Mario Soto, he would be proud of Johnny Cueto. 2-2. Foul back. Last year, Cueto won 12. He just turned 25. They say Johnny's very quiet, very focused. Great stuff. Tried to get that thing on the corner and missed, so he goes all the way. 3-2. Waiting on deck, Juan Uribe. And ground ball to first. Votto will take it to the bag, and that's it. So no runs, a Flair single, the eventual rundown at Matt Kemp, and at the end of 4, a 1-1